Hi everyone, this is Shayanti bringing you another episode of Shayanti Fine Arts. Today is May, and May is also popularly known as Mermay because this is a month where artists take up a challenge to paint mermaids every day of the month. So I'm not going to paint 30 different mermaids or 31 different mermaids, but I am definitely going to paint a lot of mermaid or marine related paintings throughout this month, and today is going to be the first one of them. This is a continuation of my last video where I painted this coral reef background. Today I'm going to convert this coral reef background into a surreal mermaid themed painting based upon the character of Ariel from our childhood favorite fairy tale. So you can see that I started off with the background that I created last week, and you can look into the video description below or the card popping up to check out that video to learn how I did that. Next, what I did is I took a charcoal pencil and drew out the outline of the face of Ariel or mermaid for that matter. And then I painted that outline with black acrylic paint. Next, I made a mix of acrylic paint which had quite a bit of black and a lot of phthalo blue, and I started painting that around the silhouette or around that outline. And make and thing to note here is that I am keeping my brush strokes kind of in a larger, wider U pattern in the same way I had painted the background, so that it kind of becomes one and all the same with the background and does not look very different. Because if I do a straight pattern flat line painting, then it will stand out very differently from the background, and that would not look visually pleasing. I'm doing the same thing on the left hand side as well, and this time I'm using a little bit less of black and more of blue. Now you can obviously play around with different amounts of black and blue and make sure it slowly blends out into the background. And the lower I'm getting, I'm making it a little bit lighter and kind of blending it out. So that is all going to be about that silhouette. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a mermaid inside this silhouette. But before I do so, I wanted to create some ripple effects on in the water and inside the face. This would kind of symbolize that this is the top of the water and that you can see from underneath the ocean. And what I'm necessarily is doing is kind of creating zigzag patterns, squiggly lines. They are necessarily S's and Z's just flattened out. And although it looks pretty light here, I am not using white for this particular squiggly line pattern or ripple pattern for to be more precise. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing a lot of blue, and I'm using phthalo blue here to mix with my white. And the more I'm going downward away from the horizon or away from the surface of the water, the lines are getting more bluer, so that it's kind of pushed back into the background. Alternately, you can also paint the lines in white and then glaze with a shade of blue. Next, what I'm doing is I am taking a pencil and drawing the outline of the mermaid silhouette inside this face. You can also use a white charcoal pencil like I used before, and either ways is going to be fine. Then I made another mix of blue black, more of blue, a little bit less of black, and I'm just filling that entire portion of the mermaid's body with that mix. Now you can notice that there is a lot of brush strokes left in there because I'm going to go back and kind of get a few little highlights here and there on one side of the body of the mermaid, just to kind of get the effect of light reflecting off the body of the mermaid. And next I'm going to paint the tail, where I'm not going to make it as black as the rest of the body. I'm going to add a lot of shades of gray and blue, white. So although it kind of looks very white here, it's not necessarily all white. I am using a gray mix, and then I'm going on top of it with a lot of blue paint. I'm also using cerulean blue here. And if you mix white in phthalo blue, pretty much comes close to cerulean blue. You do not need to have both two different kinds of paint, but if you have it, go ahead and use it. It doesn't harm. It actually would make it better probably. And then I'm using some bright white highlights on the tail of the mermaid as well. Next, I'm drawing a few tiny little fishes all around the mermaid. Of course, it's a marine scene, so fishes are very important, and it's based upon the character of Ariel, so with her friends have got to be there. But I do have a plan of painting another Ariel painting, maybe a little bit more complicated later in the month, but we'll see to it when we go, when we get into the later part of the month. This is my first and beginning painting for Mermay. I hope you enjoy that, and I hope this inspires you to paint some mermaids of your own and participate in Mermay in your own way. You can do 30 different paintings, 30 different days. You can do drawings, sketches, whatever you want to, or you can do like me, you can do a few different mermaid paintings here and there. I am a big fan of serial paintings, as you all know, and obviously mermaid is one of the topics that I have often explored. I have done a few mermaid kind of themed paintings for my zodiac paintings. You can check those out as well in my zodiac playlist. I'll link that in the video description below as well. So that is pretty much it about this particular painting. Now what I'm doing is I'm finishing up one of the fishes. I made this a little bit bigger than the rest of the fishes. Not necessary, but I thought that would look pretty nice and giving, add a little bit variety. One last thing on this painting is adding some rays of light. This will kind of symbolize the rays of light that is coming from outside of the water and penetrating inside the water. For this, I am using a transparent mixing white. This is a white from Liquitex's Heavy Body paints, and the reason I'm using this is because it's a very transparent white. If you use titanium white, then it would kind of block the entire surface, and even if you thin it a lot with water, it would make a very foggy look, which is not what you look for, what you're looking for in this particular whenever you're trying to paint rays of light. So you need to go for this transparent mixing white. So, and if you are trying this with oil paints, then you have to use zinc white, which is equally transparent in case of oil paints. And that is all for this painting. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this painting. You like it, don't like it, whatever you want to say. Let me know. Your feedback is of utmost importance to me, and so is your thumbs up. If you like it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. See you soon.